stole that guy's pizza!
For as long as I can remember, I've always been captivated by the idea of Spider-Man. Watching Tobey Maguire swing around the city or climb on walls was always just too much for my little kid brain to handle. And I'd go as far as saying that my life pretty much peaked when this happened. So as a game developer, when VR started coming out, I knew exactly what I wanted to make first. But there was just one problem. I take you back to 2016. The Oculus Rift had just come out, and so had its sad, poor man's alternative, the Gear VR. At this point, I'm in college, I don't have a PC, and I'm looking in my bank account and seeing something like this. But I wasn't to be deterred. I had a vision and I was going to make it happen. I took all the money I had and bought a Gear VR, and thus, Arachnid Guy was born. Now you might think that having only the horsepower of a Galaxy S6 and a single button on the headset would make for a bad game, but you would be wrong. The game was epic. You could shoot a web by pressing the one button, you'd automatically stick to walls, and you could jump off the walls by holding the button and then releasing it. It was a ton of fun and only got me more excited about VR. But of course, there was still the problem of money. Cold, hard cash. I needed it, and I needed a lot of it. Now, I've always wanted to be a game developer, but I wasn't above selling out to the man for what I wanted. So I walked over to the career fair, told the Home Depot representative that I knew how to develop for VR, and bingo bongo, I was now making $20 an hour working for Home Depot in their innovation department. For the next summer, I would come in every day and tick off hours until I could buy my Oculus Rift and my PC. But eventually, all things passed and I purchased my first real headset, the Oculus Rift. I got to work straight away, and the Silkworm was born. And you might think that due to my mental trauma from having only one button on the Gear VR, I would live it up on the Oculus Rift with its 10, but it turns out you can't teach a 22-year-old dog new tricks because I didn't. You see, I wanted the Silkworm to feel the most like real life possible. After all, what's the point of VR if you're reminded every 3 seconds that you're actually just playing a game? In the end, you could jump, shoot silk, swing, climb, all the good stuff, with just the grip button. And that felt right to me, and apparently to you guys as well, some foreshadowing for you. The only other button you'd use was the analog stick to walk, and that's just classic VR locomotion problems. But I've got my eyes on a solution for that. Also, did you guys know that 99.99% of my viewers are subscribed? That means there's just one person who's not subscribed.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
But anyway, I never released the Silkworm back in the day. It was really just for me and a few friends who tried it out. And it wouldn't be until a few years later in 2021 that I would decide to try social media, specifically TikTok and YouTube. I wasn't having much success on either platform and I was feeling a little burnt out by all of it when I decided to give Silkworm gameplay a shot. I figured I had liked playing it back in the day and that maybe you guys would enjoy it as well. I uploaded a video on TikTok and went to bed, really not expecting much. But I was wrong. The next morning, I woke up to a text from my brother reading, "Wake up, sleepyhead, you've gone viral." I went over to my TikTok and what I saw frankly astonished me. Silkworm had blown up, accruing massive amounts of views and followers were pouring in just as quickly. And remember, until then, I had been fighting to get even 1 subscriber per video. I was shocked. And to my surprise, preceding videos did just as well. It was basically just one hit after another. So when I finally ported and released the Silkworm for Quest 1 and 2, I didn't know what to expect. I knew people liked the content, but does that mean they were going to download and actually enjoy the game? This was my first release after all, so I didn't have much experience to fall back on. As it turns out,
oh, absolutely.
Apparently there's a direct correlation between how well content does and how many times a game is downloaded, because when I went to check my store page, it looked something like this. The Silkworm had quickly climbed to the top of both AppLab and SideQuest, sitting only 20th on AppLab.db and 49th on SideQuest. Again, my mind was blown. But now I can hear you guys through the internet going, "Oh, Dom, the graphics aren't good. The city is all one color." And to that I say, hey, back off. There's good technical reasons for that. You see, even though this isn't quite Gear VR Galaxy S6 days, the Quest still isn't a powerful device. It's essentially a phone. And I've got the entirety of New York City in this bad boy, so getting it running at 60 FPS was a miracle any way you look at it. Of course, there is always the possibility of ditching New York City and creating a bunch of buildings myself, and I think the idea of that would be really cool, but the problem is I'm no artist and I don't have the money to hire one. Support me on Patreon. I snuck it in. But anyway, it's been a fun and often surprising ride, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And if you're excited as well, there's no better place to keep up with my games than the Discord. Link in the description below.